Satoko? It's Rika. Rika? Keiichi ended everything for you. Hinamizawa is not going to be mean to you anymore. No one will ignore you when we go shopping together. They won't treat you differently from me anymore. No one will treat you harshly anymore. Satoko is not sure if she should feel glad or sad that Rika noticed how badly the villagers were treating her. All she could do is laugh with irony. I can't believe that. I know. I can't believe it either. Rika? Satoko is surprised. It's because Rika sounded so mature on the phone. She has never heard Rika's voice like this. When you were taken away by your uncle, I thought this was an unchangeable fate. I gave up, thinking that there was nothing but a dead end ahead of us. I'm sure you felt that way too. But I found out that there's no such thing as fate. There's no dead end ahead of us. Keiichi broke the wall down and smashed it into pieces. Satoko, don't pity yourself anymore. We're almost there. All you need to do is to nod. But I have to get stronger. That's your trauma. You're trying to get stronger. You felt guilty towards Satoshi because you hid behind his back when you were abused by your aunt. Actually, to show your strength, you can admit that you need help. That's what I would say. To show your true strength, admit that you can't do it by yourself. Well, I mean, you don't want to say that, but that's actually how you do show strength. Strength of character, strength of resolve, and to know yourself and know that you can't do everything by yourself. That is strength of character that you can show. I know that you're trying to take Teppei's abuse as a form of self-punishment. I understand you're trying to get stronger as an apology toward your brother. I respect your courage and it shows how much you grew up. Satoshi would be proud of you if he was here right now. He would rub your head. He would rub it so gently. Nini, you really believe what I'm saying? No, Satoko. You're not strong at all. Rika speaks to her harshly and it hurts Satoko's feelings. You think taking the abuse makes you stronger, but this is different from last year. You're just taking the abuse until Satoshi comes home. You're waiting for him to come back and save you again. You don't even know what kind of strength Satoshi had within him. Satoshi didn't just cry and shake in fear like you're doing. He fought. He fought his horrible aunt. He fought in order to save you. Remember how he stood in front of her to save you. Satoshi was scared too. All Satoko saw was her brother's back. She has no idea what kind of expression he had on his face. He didn't want to stand in front of his furious aunt, but he had no choice in order to save his sister. Satoko never once saw how scared he was. She never saw the courageous expression on his face. Satoshi fought. He didn't just take the violence. He fought and dealt with it. I was different from you once. I stopped fighting because I gave up. I stopped dealing with it. I chose to accept fate and take the pain. I thought it was a waste of time to seek help. Just like you. I just waited for someone to change the circumstances. But I've decided to fight. That's why I'm on the phone with you now. I'm going to change this fate on my own. I'm going to persuade you. Satoko, I know he's right behind you, isn't he? Yes, he's here. Look at his face now. See how evil and scary he looks. Realize how courageous Satoshi was to fight against that furious face. If you want to give something back to Satoshi, don't just take the abuse without getting help. You have to do what Satoshi did for you. Can't you see? Satoko slowly looks back at him, though she is afraid to do so. He's intentionally smiling at her while holding her shoulders tightly. It's not about dealing with her aunt or uncle. It's about dealing with this fear. Satoshi dealt with it. He could have chosen not to deal with it, but he fought for you, Satoko. He took the fear and fought against it. What is Satoko doing now? She believed that dealing with violence was the punishment she deserved. However, what Rika is saying is right. Satoko is not trying to gain strength. She's only shutting out herself until someone comes and saves her. Yeah, that exactly is right. She isn't trying to be strong, she's just weathering the storm until someone saves her. It's not true strength. She's not trying to do anything on her own. She's only waiting for someone to do something about it. Satoshi faced it. He faced this fear. That was his strength. Are you scared? Are your teeth chattering? Are you feeling shivers running down your spine? That's exactly how Satoshi was feeling when he tried to save you. You have to understand that. Do you know what Satoshi wanted from you? Do you know what he was trying to show you? If you don't know, Satoshi will never come back to you.
Hey, what's the deal? What's taking so long?
Satoko is consumed by fear. Her teeth are chattering and she feels shivers running down her spine. This is what Satoshi felt every time she cried. Show your strength, Satoko. Show Satoshi how much you've grown up over the past year. You must be brave like Satoshi. Rika, but I... If she asks for help now, Tefe is not just going to disappear. Once she asks for help, she needs to take the abuse from him until someone physically gets here to save her. She feels pain all over her body. Her wounds are pulsating like a heartbeat and she can taste blood inside her mouth. It's not as easy as it sounds. One nod is not going to solve everything at once. They have no idea how hard it is for her to nod. How did Nini save her? She can't remember his face, but she remembers his strong words. She may have heard a little bit of fear in his voice. But he still fought. He faced the fear and fought for her. She's scared, just as Rika says. Her teeth are chattering and she feels shivers running down her spine. But she has to face it. Challenge him. Fight him. And break his cycle. Break this cycle. Satoko, I'm going to give the phone to the Child Consultation Center. You tell them with your own words. Yes. Yes. Show me your courage.
Hello again. I'm Hariyama from the Child Consultation Center.
Please allow me to ask you one more time. Are there any problems between you and your uncle? She looks at Tefe as she listens to the question. She's full of fear. All she did was hide behind Satoshi's back. Oh my god. If they fucking pull the card where she just says no, nothing's wrong, I'll be so upset and so sad. That'll be depressing as hell. Show me your courage. It's not just Rika. Nini is watching her too. Me? Excuse me? Could you please repeat that? Help me. Tefe punches Satoko in the head immediately. Fuck. Oh. God, I hope she doesn't fucking die before they can get there. Satoko rolls down the hallway with the phone. Oh god. How is it fucking still connected? Hey Satoko. You betrayed me, didn't you? I hate you. Leave this house. This house belongs to Nini and me. This house belongs to my family. I hate you. Get out of here.
You little bastard.
Start running. Fuck it. Book it out of the house. Just start running. Run. Don't just lay there. Start running. Ah! Satoko is not prepared to take the beating anymore. Instead, she spreads her arms wide and jumps onto her uncle. What the fuck? It's not going to hurt Tepe at all. She's as weak as a puppy to him. However, that's the best attack Satoko has at her disposal. No, the best attack is running the fuck away, hoping to God he doesn't catch you. Satoko is fighting for the first time. She decided to stop waiting for someone to help her. Though I will say, this isn't taking away that Satoko is extremely strong at this moment. I will agree with that. I will say that. She's the only one who can save herself. Taking the violence didn't mean anything at all. She thought she learned something from Nini, but she had no idea. What's up with the rebellious look? You want me to break all of your teeth? Just as Tepe raises his fist, someone loudly knocks on the door. Hojo Tepe, open the... Oh, this is the police. Oh shit, they were already there. Thank God the police decided to actually do something and were proactive in this case. Actually, what I'd imagine what they'd do is get the police on standby just in case. He is scared. It's not even been a minute since Satoko asked for help on the phone. Open up! We're going to break down the door. Breach and clear, breach and clear. Fucking the SWAT team breaks in. Shit, you guys were prepared. How did it turn out? How's Satoko? Satoko asked for help. The Child Consultation Center is going to take action now. But Satoko is in danger. Tefe might beat her up because she ratted him out. According to Hariyama, he heard a violent noise right after she admitted the abuse. Satoko was brave enough to ask for help in front of her uncle. We have to get there now. Someone give us a ride. Several people start their cars. People start to figure out what's going on. God.
God, so much shit's going down. Fuck. Damn it. We're coming to get you now. The rescue operation. Don't worry, Mayabara. The police entered the Hojo residence just a moment ago. He had no time to abuse Satoko. Okay. Oishi, calm down. He had no time to abuse her. Nah. Any time is enough time. Come on now. What? But why? I don't know. Anyway, could you break up this crowd now? I'm going to leave for now. Have a nice year. Okay, I will say, Oishi was pretty chill in that sense. He could have been more of an asshole like he usually is. So, that's not the worst.
Oishi called someone as soon as he heard Satoko asking for help. The police were surrounding Satoko's house ahead of time? I see. They were watching him as a suspect of Rina's murder. I got it.
Who's Rina? What the fuck's going on? I'm Keiji. I don't know what the shit's going on. Get inside the car, everyone. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. There are several officers in the Hojo residence. Satoko is sitting by the porch, talking with an officer. Her face has some painful bruises.
Satoko! Are you okay? Are you... Oh, do I look okay? Manager, give her some treatment now.
Let's take her to the clinic. Can you walk, Satoko? She nods and stands up. It looks painful, but I'm relieved to see her better than I expected. However, the bruises on her body look pretty bad. I will never forgive that man for abusing a little girl like her. You don't even have to say like her, you can just say abusing a little girl. That's all you have to say. Actually, just a little child in general. Anyone who abuses children is pretty fucked up. It's really hard to be worse. Like, once you're a child abuser, like a full-blown, like, you're abusing children that aren't even teenagers at that point yet. Like, you're a scum of the earth. It's really hard to be worse than that. Because you're preying on people that physically can't defend themselves. And it's terrible. It's really hard to get worse than that. My body shivers in anger. If it makes you feel better, he's going to go to jail for a pretty long time, hopefully.
Satoko. Did you see what I did, Rika? I did it. Yes. I saw your courage. You won. You broke the chains of fate.
Both Rika and Satoko cry and hug each other. I hear another car coming. I know who it is. It's Oishi's police cruiser. That specific cruiser. Not any other police cruiser. Oishi's police cruiser. I guess we should have saved her sooner. I'm sorry she was hurt. Don't be sorry. If you hadn't helped her, you would have done even more horrible things to her. Thank you so much.
I guess you can be a nice guy sometimes.
So how's she doing? The manager is treating her. She was injured pretty badly. Oh, Kuma. What happened to Tepe? We got him. Kumiyama took him to the station.
So he's not coming back to this house anymore?
It's not like he's going to get the death penalty or life sentence. I don't want to think about this, but he might come back someday.
But we're not going to let him. I'll make sure he can never get back to this village.
To be fair, he also can't ever again claim legal guardianship either. So I mean, all he'd come back for is just to beat the shit out of Satoko, which I wouldn't put it past him, honestly. I mean, I could definitely see him doing that. But he doesn't gain anything. If anything, he risks more by coming back here in the future. So I don't see him coming back anymore. Oh my. The next leader of the Sonozaki family is saying something scary. You can't threaten him, you know.
I'm not going to threaten him. I'm just going to advise him that he shouldn't come back to Hinamizawa or Okinomiya. Otherwise something bad might happen to him.
Or you could just say, you know, it would just be very unwise since, you know, you're a known child abuser. It's really not wise to return to the city that you abused a child in. Especially when people here saved said child. It'd be very unfortunate if something bad happened to you. I mean, I'm not saying something will happen to you, I'm just saying it'd be very unfortunate. It would be a terrible tragedy. And everyone would mourn the loss of you. I'm sure. I guess advice is not too bad. Ha ha ha.
Is Satoko saved now? This is it? Are we done? I don't know. I think there will be more issues to come. Once Teppei loses his parental rights, they need to find a new guardian for Satoko. They need someone to take care of her. But there's no need to worry. I'm sure that the Sonozaki family is going to back her up. We'll make sure Satoko stays happy. Satoko went to the clinic. According to Ire, her injuries are not as bad as they look.
God, he already got a diagnosis of her? Jesus Christ, he's fast. Really? It's good to hear.
I wonder if she can leave the clinic by tomorrow. I wonder.
I think it's best if she just stays in the clinic for as long as possible. Well, not. Yeah, as long as possible for the sake of that she just needs to get better. I don't care how long she stays in a hospital, she just needs to rest. I mean, she is already running a high fever due to stress. She just needs to decompress, calm down, take some deep breaths. Everything's over. Everything's better now. That kind of thing.
I'm sure those injuries will take more than a day to heal. That's not what she's talking about, me. Tomorrow is the Wananagashi festival. It was a hectic week, but we can go to the festival together. I think that will be our happy ending. Right? It's proof that we got our world back by ourselves. I agree. I'm sure Satoko wants to see Kei-chan's auction.
That's right. I almost forgot about that.
Satoko is coming for sure.
I realize people from the village are surrounding us. They're the same people who came to the Child Consultation Center to support us. They wanted to know if Satoko was safe. I don't know if I should tell them that she is safe, considering her injuries. You can tell her that, Teppei is under arrest. Satoko's, getting treated for her injuries, but other than that, she is safe. For the most part, she is safe. She doesn't have to worry about Teppei anymore. That's what you say in that kind of situation. However, she is free from the curse of her uncle now. She can slowly heal her emotional pain. We will continue to support her as her friends. It's not just us. The whole village is going to support her now. The ghost of the damn conflict is no longer here to haunt Satoko. It was a very long week. In this 1 week, we united, we fought, we overcame, and we won. It was not an easy victory. However, what we paid was worth it. Tomorrow is the Watanagashi Festival, the biggest festival in the village. It's a big event to worship the guardian of Hinamizawa, of the village, Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama is the god who united two enemies. The curse of the Hojo family is now gone, and Satoko is going to be part of the village too. Fitting that the festival is tomorrow then. We'll all be at the festival together. This is a perfect happy ending. When the ordinary days were taken from us, we felt hopeless and powerless. But now we have everything back. This is such a miracle. No, this is not a miracle. Miracles can be created when everyone works together. What's impossible to do alone is possible when everyone gets together. With everyone's power, we were able to make things happen. It's a natural thing when everyone works hard together, so this is not a miracle. This was meant to happen. The old story tells us that Oyashiro-sama made it possible for humans and demons to live together. I'm not sure that what that story is trying to tell us. Well, I'm sure that Oyashiro-sama made something impossible happen. We can be proud of what we did. I'm sure Oyashiro-sama is proud too. Hey, Mayabara's boy. Good job. Good for you. I'm so glad we did that. What we did today. My supporters cheer me on. They're glad that Satoko is safe now. We finally feel this sense of accomplishment, and we hug each other with joy. I mean, this is a really good story, just in general, about how doing shit by yourself usually never works out. It's a lot harder when you do stuff by on your own, and I think it's a good message. That I feel it's like one of those underlying messages that you kind of just get. I mean, it's kind of overt in that sense, but it does really drive it home that these situations are hard to deal with. There's a lot of shit you have to do and a lot of obstacles you have to overcome. And in life, all of these characters suffer from various things in life. Rena, from her tragic backstory, the divorce of her parents, that kind of stuff, which really set her off into a really emotional downspin early in her life. Satoko, the abuse she suffers from. Keiichi, from past mistakes he did and trying to grow past them. Mion and Shion, from their troubled family traditions and stuff like that. And just the issues when twins arrive, when jealousy enters it, that kind of thing. Shion losing the love of her life in that sense, even though it's the first guy she ever really met that she formed a bond with. I'm sure she's going to move on past it. But if she doesn't, in that sense, no. She's going, like, all these characters have very long-term issues that they have to work through that aren't something that is an easy cut and dry answer to get past. Each one had various ways of coping with mistakes of their past. Rika, in the sense that she just has to keep living over and over her life, which I wouldn't really say it's her fault, it's just something she has to deal with, though. So in that sense, a lot of these characters, it's really easy for humans to look at themselves and think that it's a singular issue, because I do it. I'm going to speak from experience now. I look at myself and say, I need to handle this on my own. I need to step up, grow as a human being, and just do this by myself. Suck it up and do it. When really the best answer would be relying on other people, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier. And I think that is, like, at the end of the day, I think this is what the story is really about. It's that about how humans alone can only do so much when it's faced with difficult situations. With Shion's case, it's difficult to deal with the loss of a loved one. It's really difficult to deal with, and it's impossible to do it alone. And you just have to learn how to cope with it. You can't blame other people for it in that sense. You can't hold vendettas over other people, because it will make you go insane. Keiichi dealing with his past mistakes and not trusting people. You really do have to, when you grow up, as they are learning, obviously, when they're entering adulthood, early adulthood and all that, you realize that you have to place a certain amount of trust in people. You can't just constantly isolate yourself from other people, because you'll become extremely paranoid of people. You won't ever trust anyone again. And now that can lead to damaging effects, which is Keiichi completely isolating himself and becoming, despondent to other people. Rena, in the case of her parents' divorce, she learned at a young age not to trust a lot of people, that there are certain people that you can't trust. She, of course, takes that to an extreme in that sense, when she started killing people instead of talking to other people, thinking that there's no one else that can help her, no one else can identify with their situation, when that's not necessarily true. It all boils down to, if you ask for help from friends and you seek and talk to people, things work out a lot easier, no matter how hard the situation is. Child abuse is a very hard situation to deal with. But asking for help and talking to people does help alleviate the problems, a lot of them. It's a lot easier to get the stuff done, instead of just sitting and waiting and hoping that someone saves you. It's a lot easier when you have people to help you. When you have people standing by to help you, when you ask for help, it makes things so much easier. All of these situations, it boils down to that. And I think that's what really the story is about. That no matter what seems predetermined, whatever seems like something set in stone, if you do go outside yourself and have other people help you, that no matter how forced a situation may seem, no matter how cut and dry it seems, that even if you seem painted into a corner, that there's other options you can have when you go outside of yourself. I think that's what really the moral of the story is about, of the whole overarching thing. At least that's what I see. Because that's what it really seems to be hinting at, or really lending itself to. And I like that. I do like overarching meetings about that kind of thing. Though, I mean, I'm a hypocrite when I say these things because I don't exactly take the advice to heart. Because I'm an extremely stubborn person and do things on my own. Because that's just my personality. I'm extremely bullheaded. And I admit that it's a double-edged sword. It's extremely helpful when it comes to hard situations to deal with because I'll keep grinding at a situation until it gets better. But I'll be stubborn and stuck in my ways and not ask for people for help. Because I'm also extremely prideful. Which makes it even worse in that situation. Because not only am I stubborn, I'm extremely prideful. I don't like lowering myself in that sense. I don't like the idea that I'm lowering myself. Because I've always put myself at a standard that I want to meet the standard of myself. I don't want to be just this lazy bum that doesn't do anything. I hold myself to accountable because I know I can do better. I know I can do this amount of work. I know I can do this. I know I can do that. I know I can achieve this, this, and this. And that's what I strive for. I strive for my excellence. I strive for the best that I can do. Which that becomes a problem because then I don't accept help from other people. If I accepted help from other people, I view that as a weakness that I'm not actually doing it by myself. That kind of thing. And I've actually known this for a while now. I've started realizing this fucking in high school. Because in high school, in my high school years, I really wanted to learn who I was, what I was made of. And that's what I really did in the first few years of high school. I sat back. I didn't really make many friends in the very first years of high school. I was kind of just observing everyone else. I was learning how people interacted. Not learning how people interact, but observing how different people react to different situations in that sense. Learning in that sense. How people put on faces towards other certain types of people. You learn how the jock reacts to other nerd type deals, how popular people react to other people, that kind of thing. And I saw these social interactions, and I geared my personality towards that way on that front. Then I was able to, by senior year, be able to talk and connect to basically every single person in my high school. And by the end of high school, everyone was a friend. Well, quote friend. I mean, I have like 4 or 5 close friends that I would consider friends. Everyone else were more acquaintances. They could probably view me as a friend because I was there. I listened to them. I knew how to talk to them. I knew how they interacted with people and what worked best with them. So I learned very quickly that I was a very supportive person, that I can be very supportive to someone. But I don't like getting support for myself because I feel selfish when I do. That kind of deal. So all these things in high school, I was just mulling them over in my head. Just what I am, how I am, my personality, all those kinds of things. Learning how I react to different situations. All of those kinds of, like hypothetical questions you ask yourself. Well, not just yourself, but all those hypothetical questions that are really morally gray. And, thought-provoking of what you would do in situations. Like you hear a noise in an alley, like a scream in an alley, what do you do? I mean, you hear a gunshot in an alley, what do you do? A lot of people would go into the alley, a lot of people wouldn't go into the alley, a lot of people would just say, I didn't hear a thing. Those kinds of questions, there's no right answer. Because you call the police, it's going to be a while until the police get there if someone's dead. It doesn't matter. They know about the murder early, but you don't stop it. If you go in there when it's happening, you could die. If you leave and don't act anything, that you don't help the person that could have been helped. So, I mean, there's a lot of different answers to that situation. I personally would either call the police or just leave. I'm very selfish, so I don't want to die. But just those kinds of questions, a lot of hypothetical questions of what you do, how you pride yourself. What do you take pride in your work? Which aspects do you like doing? So I've done plenty of that research when I was, in high school, in my early high school years. And I learned how I react to situations, and I've just learned how to adapt. I accept my faults, and I accept my strengths as well. Because I've learned how to deal with them over the few years after high school. Or at least after I learned about my weaknesses and all that. I still sometimes suffer from them, but I try to put myself in a situation where I never have to deal with my weaknesses. Or at least, when I do, I don't have to worry about them. Because I used to have a really big fear of public speaking and such. But I've actually learned how to grow past that, and I'm actually a really good public speaker now. Even though I can't read text on a screen, I can actually talk to people very efficiently and not be too nervous. I will say making videos actually has helped that. Even though I don't get the sense that I'm talking to a lot of people, no matter how many views this video will get, I won't feel like I ever talk to anyone in that sense, which is weird, because I'm obviously talking to someone. But in the present, I'm just talking to a microphone and a screen, and it's weird. It's definitely a surreal experience that's really unique in that sense. It's one of a kind. But it's really important that the moral of the end of the story is trusting friends and trusting other people. It's my main weakness that I've never really been able to overcome, just because I just can't. It's so anti my natural instincts that I can't fully comprehend it. Well, no, I can comprehend it. I just don't want to. I don't want to accept the fact that I need to move on and do certain things, but maybe one day I'll learn it, how to do it, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just say, fuck it, I can do everything on my own, and all that stuff. Anyways, let's get back into the story after that nice long tangent. Satoko and Rika are already there waiting for me.